If you've got one of these, you're likely to have one of these. I've just burnt a few calories pumping this up. I was hoping to get to 3000 psi in the bottle. I don't know what we did get up to. I can't bloody read that. 2500 psi we got it up to. So not maximum, but we're finally joining the club. As I've said previously, the HDR.50, I like it in this format. It's compact. It's not got stocks on it, hand grips, 4 foot long barrel. It's got the Z-RAM extender in it. But in the interest of science, I was sent this by Z-RAM, Daniel over at Z-RAM. So thank you very much, Daniel. We're going to put this is going to screw in where the Z-RAM extender does. I'm going to pop a little seal on there, and then the HPA bottle will go on the end of it like so. So I'll just give you a little recap. HDR.50, 11 joule version to start with, valve block removed, short pin fitted. I've removed the CO2 disc for this little operation, and I don't know, I mean, I like using it in this format, so I'm never going to use it with a HPA bottle. So do we put all the barrel extensions on, just for shits and giggles? Let's just put them on and we'll see how long it is. I've got a few here. The thread on this barrel is quite long, so we're going to thread this one on. So there's one. There's two. And I've got one more. No, let's put it that way up instead. So there we go. Do we just go for it and try it with that? Now I don't have a lot of ammo left. My channel became quite popular when I was sent some Devastator rounds, the very first batch of Devastator rounds that were ever available. The company that makes them sent me a couple of boxes. I've got 6 left. So they're 4.74 grams, and I've got some steel rubber balls which are 2.65 grams. I've got 2500 psi in my bottle, and we'll get this put in on the old Z-RAM extender and we'll fire it through the chronograph just for a laugh. I would never ever use it like this. To me, yeah, in the interest of science, everybody's doing it at the minute. All the YouTube channels out there have been putting these long barrels and all these rifle accessories all over it, HPA bottles everywhere. It's not for me. It's just a pistol, CO2 powered, pierce it, as I've said before. But in the interest of science, we're going to try this out. So let's get over here and fit this thing in there, and then we'll fire it out the window. So this is the piece, and that's just going to screw in there where the Z-RAM extender is. So I'm just going to put a bit of cloth around that. That comes out, and that's got a seal on it. That hasn't got a seal on, so I'm going to pop a seal on there like that, and that should, in theory, screw on. I think I'll just do it hand tight. I've taken the CO2 disc out, so that can just sit there. Put the punch pin back in. And then in theory, this just screws into there like so. And there we go. It's in the gun, so I'm just going to take that off. Perhaps need to put that on a bit tighter. So yeah, it's all working. So we'll get it loaded up, I'll get the barrel back on, and we'll shoot it through the chronograph. Right, so I'm going to screw the bottle on. Gun is activated by the sound of it. Right, let's see what all the fuss is about. Right, so this is with the rubber steel balls. So as I said before shooting, I've finally joined the club, the HPA club. It is a bit of an unwieldy handful. Obviously I've not got rifle grips, you know, or anything like that. It's just the HDR.50 with a bottle and a bloody long barrel. Obviously more experimenting required with different ammunition. I've run out of ammunition basically, and I've run out of puff to pump this bleeding bottle up. If I was to do more with HPA, I'd probably get a compressor, but I can't warrant the outlay at the moment. 40 joules. I know people are getting ridiculous numbers of joules when it comes to HPA bottles and adapters, this, that and the other. This is my first foray into... We did try it before with the home defence adapter that plugged on down here, but the regulator was only 850 psi. I don't know how this works through here. There's 4 little holes in the back of that. I don't know if you'll be able to see it if I take the bottle off. You see in there? Probably not. Where's my torch? Probably still won't be able to see it. In there's 4 little holes and a nipple, which when you screw the bottle on, it presses that in there, and that's when it fills up with air. So yes, it's a bit of an unwieldy beast, which is why I'm assuming that a lot of people sort of put all the body kit on it, make it into a rifle. As I say, it's not how I would use the HDR.50. I like it nice and compact, just like that, with my little light on the front. Not that I'm ever going to use it for self-defense. I've been over this in previous videos. I'd probably end up in prison, whereas the intruder would get let off. But anyway, this is all for science. So thanks to Daniel for sending the adapter out. I have got some ZRAM 68 cal rounds we can try out on the range, and I will do a bit more experimenting with this HPA on some targets. We'll shoot some bits of plywood and that kind of thing with various ammunitions. That might wait until I get a compressor. If I can get a compressor at a good price, we'll see about it. Otherwise it's as and when I can have the energy to pump it up with that stirrup pump. But the most I've ever seen out of this gun before on CO2 was about 32 joules. Now this was putting out, with the Devastators we got up to 39 joules. With the rubber steel balls, just these Umarex ones, 36 joules. Obviously different ammunitions give different, you know, different weight ammunition gives different readings on the chronograph. So the old chronograph is quite accurate. It's one of these LMBR R2 something or other. It's pretty good, calibrated pucker ding. I'm quite surprised at that. It obviously, I was waiting for the readings on the chronograph to drop because I'm used to firing it with CO2. There's none of that. We did get through 1000 psi on the bottle though. We was at about just under 2.5. Now we're just under 1.5. So yeah, it's not the sort of hobby that you want to be doing if you've got one of these. This thing is a bloody nightmare. But yeah, so I'm quite chuffed with that. 40 joules. So it's just a bit of a, well, there's obviously the tuning barrel and 3 sections of barrel that I've got. I don't know how long that makes it. I'll measure it and put it across the screen. I won't do that now, but it will be on the screen when the video's out. So yeah, I was quite impressed. I will obviously do more experimenting with different lengths of barrel and bits and pieces. But you don't really want to be holding the barrel because the barrel moves. I was sort of resting my hand there and sort of trying to balance it with a bottle on the back. You know, it's all good stuff. The people who come out with these ideas are obviously quite clever, aren't they? Just that valve, and you can, or the adapter. Now, I don't know, but yeah, pretty chuffed. So thanks again, Daniel. Made quite an improvement in the power. It's not how I would keep the gun, as I keep saying. I'll probably sound like a stuck record, but yeah, bloody marvellous. Anyway, catch you in the next video. Bye for now.